Is that us? Us? Move!
Way to keep your head, Voodoo.
Yeah, well, that dude was a pound of trigger pressure away from losing his. Mother, we're gonna maintain 4 cars back. That dude said Taliban bugged out on Sunday.
Yeah, them and everyone else. Well, keep your fingers on the triggers. Voodoo, close the gap a little.
You sure Tariq has the intel?
Langley seems to think so. He knows something or else he wouldn't need all the security. Going left. What the fuck? Voodoo, we got company.
Who the hell are these guys?
Roof, 12 o'clock. 1 target. 11 o'clock window, 2 targets.
Mother, we got a truck blocking us in on our 6.
Got it.
Chechens. Shit.
Hello, and welcome to 60 Second Gamer. My name is Simon Pryor. As always, joining me are Mr. Anthony Tremaine and Mr. Rich Hatton.
I can actually talk and like this retrobate.
Yeah. And just for a change, we're doing a more recent game, and we are
Uncouth.
looking at Medal of Honor, otherwise known as MO.
Or I prefer the term Mo.
Yeah.
You would,
Just to be different.
because you can.
Yeah.
So
We
yeah.
live in a free democratic world,
Yes.
unlike Bahrain.
If they can,
Aha, topical.
if they can call Call of Duty COD, we can call it Muh or Muh.
Mo. My tea's gone cold.
I already
Very,
I'm
drank.
wondering
cold.
why
Yeah.
I got out of bed at all.
Just to quote Dido.
The morning rain clouds up my window, and I can't see at all.
I'm depressed now. Stop it. This is the original, not the original Medal of Honor. This is the reboot of the franchise,
Yes.
which puts the game into modern Taliban territory.
Yes.
Sorry, opposing force.
This is based on true story. Well, loosely based on true
It's a
story.
very controversial title
Yes.
because you can play as the Taliban and kill the Americans,
Yes.
but it
Hence
doesn't.
why
but
online they're not the
but it-
Taliban.
But it doesn't really matter if you play Medal of Honor
Or
or
COD.
Call of Duty, which, you know, the old Call of Duty is when they're set in World War II and you can play as the Nazis and kill the British and
Or the Russians, where you're
Americans.
just gutting people.
Yeah, so, you know, you can't have your cake and eat it, internet world.
You're silly poets.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. So, Ant, run us through the story, because you've played this one more than anyone.
You play as one of 3 different people.
3. That's
Yeah.
a bit greedy.
Yeah, I know. I
Well,
can't.
think
Call
it
of
is
Duty,
Call of
you've got about
Duty.
18.
You I can't remember the names. I know one of them's called codenamed Rabbit. I know that much, but there you go.
Red Racket.
Go.
Red Racket.
But you're just playing through. I don't think there really is much of a story apart from
Kill the Taliban!
invade Afghanistan essentially. But it's loosely based on, I think it's Operation Anaconda and the Battle of Roberts Ridge, I think it's called, which is the one in the canyon. If you watch the review.
Yeah.
Randomstoke.com.
Randomstoke.com.
Yes, go and have a look. Well, no, it's on the YouTube one, isn't it? The
Yeah,
video.
It's also
YouTube.com.
there as well.
It's
Yeah,
also
it
on
is.
Random Stoke.
Is it?
Yeah, you fool.
I've always been, yeah.
It goes on the
Yeah,
homepage.
I knew that. I knew that. But
Do you visit the website?
yes, to get the podcasts.
Well, do you not see the videos on the
I,
homepage?
I see the main one that's been done, but
They're
I don't
all on
see.
there.
Are they?
Yeah.
All the old ones.
You fool.
Well,
We've got a news archive down the side.
well, do you know what? I've got a big hair attached to my hand for some reason. So there you go.
Honestly.
Have that. But yes, it's I'll let you.
Yeah, carry on.
Get
Please carry on.
I
Go on.
thought you were being really
Carry
quiet
on.
with the custard
Carry
cream.
on. You're eating into people's time with this inane rambling.
I don't give a shit. They chose to listen to us, so they can put up.
They probably won't after that.
No,
I would say I apologise for Ant, but
there are no apologies needed.
yeah,
I'm just one of my own.
just talk. Go
Yeah.
on, tell us about the story.
But yeah, the story is just you take control of either one of these three. There's every so often it cuts back to this commander who is taking orders from someone who they don't actually explain who this person is, but he's obviously somewhere safe in Washington, and he keeps giving uncouth orders. I think he gives one, and it leads to the operation going very much tits upwards. But apart from that, there isn't really a massive story. It's just fight through Afghanistan as these
So
three
we go
different
here,
people.
shoot some people,
Go here.
move on.
Yeah, only
It's quite from what I've seen, it's a much more realistic take on the whole first person shooter
it is.
style.
Well, I was thinking of this point when I was having a leak.
It's less dramatic. So while you're having a whiz, yeah.
Yeah, and that it's trying to be more serious than Call of Duty, which has the fast-paced arcade feel to
It's
it.
the Bond film
Yeah,
feel, yeah.
The Michael Bay
but
film.
this film struggles with.
Film?
It's trying to be realistic, but at the same time trying to pander to the Call of Duty crowd to try and draw the numbers from that side of the first person camp into their one. And I think it looked like it struggled a bit between deciding should we go ultra sim like Operation Flashpoint, or should we, arcade it up, I suppose you
Call
can
of
say.
Duty style.
Call of Duty style. It sits between the two, and I don't think it's really defined its own
Niche.
Yeah, it hasn't really, thought about. They haven't really thought about where they want to put it, and it struggles a little bit. But that's from my first impression of seeing you play it. It has that realistic feel, but at the same time, it still has the
arcadey.
the arcade feel of the guns to it.
Yeah.
I think when you because to begin with I was sitting there playing it thinking this is a bit Modern Warfare, but the further in you get to it, it sort of flourishes on its own. It's like there's one mission. It's like there's this one bit I thought was quite a nice little touch. If an RPG is fired at a wall that looks like it's not very stable, unlike Modern Warfare, that wall will no longer exist if the rocket hits it.
That's more like the DICE engine, though, isn't it? So where you just
But it adds that extra nice touch of
Yeah.
shit, I've now got to panic and find somewhere else to go, which is what would happen essentially.
Yeah.
That brick wall wouldn't sustain a missile hitting it, which is where the game sort of goes, hey yeah, and opens up a whole new world. It's like there's one level where you're stuck in the middle of a ridge, and there's Taliban coming from all sorts of left, right, and fucking centre, and you end up in this little hut.
Language, Tony.
I'm sorry. Left, right, and shitting centre, and
better.
there we go, bit more acceptable. And you end up in this little like brick hut, and slowly, gradually but surely, these RPG people are shooting at you, and eventually this wall. I think it's all scripted to end like this anyway. But this hut just ends up as a tiny little brick wall, and you think, oh shit, they're going to show a real like I don't know if they are the real people or if they use likenesses or whatever. But it's like you're not going to show them being killed, are you? Oh, you are. Oh no, you've been saved at the last minute by Apache helicopters. But
That's a bit Call of Duty.
yeah, I know, but it feels better. In a way, it actually feels.
They could do it better.
They have. I mean, it's what, like I said in the review. From playing the two Modern Warfares, this actually stands out far better than both of them, by a long shot, I'd say, because it actually makes you feel like you're there.
Right.
The way that it plays out, the way little things happen here and there, the way they've sort of tweaked things. It's like, I know it may sound like a shitty little touch, but when you're crawling, the camera actually moves, like sways left and right, so it actually feels like you are shifting your left and your right arm to move forward, and it's just little tiny things like that make the game feel a lot more realistic than what any Call of Duty games have. So, well, I haven't played Black Ops, but the ones I have played,
Yeah.
it's made Modern Warfare 2 look like Michael Bay. Well, especially Modern Warfare 2, feel like a Michael Bay film in
Yeah.
comparison.
Well, it's one thing I was going to say as well is they seem to have done the Call of Duty type thing by mixing up the type of gameplay that you do. So there's the first person bits. There's where you're in the choppers destroying the buildings.
That was
taking
fun.
out
That was.
the opposing force.
Mm.
I haven't seen
Just
anything else.
say it. The Taliban.
Yeah. I like to call them the opposing
Or the
force. 'cause
Al
that's-
Qaeda.
That's an amusing name.
Yeah, I suppose it is.
The
a bit,
opposing
yeah.
force. Oh, we can't have them.
That could be
can't-
anyone.
They can't play the Taliban. Rah, rah, rah. We'll call them the opposing force then. So it's still the Taliban, yeah, but they're not called the Taliban.
No.
That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Rah.
They actually name them as the Al Qaeda in the game. That's what I don't get. They actually call them by the Al Qaeda. So why not just call them that in the game?
Yeah.
People know who they are. Calling them something completely different is not going to hide the fact you're playing as an Al Qaeda member.
Yeah.
Idiots.
It's quite a short campaign as well. I'm told.
Yes, it is. It's not a long one. It's like I looked at the trophies for it.
It seems to be part of the
And-
course with first-person shooters these days. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm playing GoldenEye at the minute, which a review of this will be coming up in months at the moment. But the gameplay for that, I'm just over halfway, and I think I've played about 3.5, 4 hours. Not a very long game at all.
Mind you. Oh
God,
I've got one word for you as to why that is so.
multiplayer.
yeah.
Yeah,
Multiplayer is killing single player gaming.
to a degree. Yeah, first-person shooter definitely.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
In that genre at least.
I mean-
We'll see what happens with that. I mean, we've seen where oversaturation's a problem as well. You
'Cause
see,
the problem-
saw what happened with
yeah.
Guitar Hero and that
Because
franchise.
as much as I enjoyed Bioshock 2, I didn't need multiplayer, but there it is tacked on.
Mm.
Same with Resident Evil 5.
That had
Okay.
online.
Yeah, it was already on the disc, and they made you pay like £6 or whatever to download literally a file that was about 50 kilobytes
Yeah.
to unlock this thing, so you could play online deathmatch.
Rubbish.
An online
Rubbish.
online deathmatch in Resident Evil probably consider. I didn't play it because by this point I traded the game in, having completed it like 1,000 times. It probably consists of two people standing there doing this.
Yeah, wobbling up and down.
Yeah, and that I can't
Rubbish.
see that being
No.
fun.
No.
I mean, fair enough. DICE do good multiplayer games. You only have to look at Battlefield.
Yeah.
And Battlefield 2.
Bad
to know-
Company. Yeah.
Yeah, and Battlefield 1943 to know that they can do good multiplayer.
They have a nice game engine. I think it's
Yeah,
got a
but
nice look to it.
okay, with first-person shooters, you're
It's
stuck.
sort of expected to have a multiplayer now. I
Yeah.
think it would be. I mean, at the minute on Xbox Live, there's an offer for Blacklight Tango.
Oh,
Dan, I
I
think-
wouldn't even.
It's 600 points, and
I
that
wouldn't
is
even.
strictly. I mean, it won't be by the time this podcast goes out. It won't be 600 points then. But played the demo, and it was like, it's all right.
It's got some very mediocre reviews.
Yeah, it's not the best, but
I want to get
it's-
that Homefront. That looks quite good from what I've read
Mm.
of that.
But it's sort of expected now for a multiplayer game for a first-person shooter to have an extensive multiplayer game, where that seems to be where the legs are in providing the game. But I mean, Call of Duty, I'm more than happy to play the story mode and the extra bits they throw in, like the side missions and the
Dead Ops.
the dead ops and the special ops missions and all of that. That's all fine, as well as the multiplayer.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me as long as it's like a good all round package. Then I'm happy for them to throw in a multiplayer option, but it shouldn't be the focal point of the game
No,
itself.
I mean, I barely ever play games online.
unless it's MAG, in which case MAG is online only anyway. But
No.
yeah, that's
But I barely ever play online games anymore because I just don't see.
you just get owned, don't you?
Yeah,
With a
I
P.
don't see the point at all. I just.
I've lost interest.
I mean, Medal of Honor's online is good, but it's just like it. Again, that applies to the rules of realism again, even
Yeah.
more. I mean, or it's just as much as the main game actually as well. Which is, I was thinking about it. You were on about special features. I just remembered something that's in Medal of Honor that annoyed me a lot. I don't know. There is a trophy for completing all of them actually as well, which is a bit of a pisser. there's this thing called Tier 1,
Mm-hmm.
and it's essentially the story mode again, but you have to complete each one, get a high score, do it in a certain time or whatever, you know. But if you die, you have to start the entire mission again. You can't, there's no checkpoints, no nothing like that. You have to go straight back to the beginning.
And is it also timed?
I think so, I can't
So
remember.
this is fits back into my point of it being not really sure of its feet. You know, is it arcade? Is it sim?
Yeah.
It doesn't
If
have
it's
its
timed,
own.
it's definitely steering into arcade.
Yeah, it
territory.
doesn't have its own identity.
Yeah,
I think that's what I'm trying to get at.
yeah.
Well,
I
the thing is with EA and their games that they put out is that they tend to listen to what people have said about the previous instalments. I mean, the difference between Battlefield, Bad Company 1 and Bad Company 2 is Bad Company 2 is a lot better online than the first one,
Mhm.
and they've upped their game with all of that. And I think the same could be said if the sales were good enough on Medal of Honor. I don't think it did as well as they were expecting, but
Well, that's what you get when you release a game 2 months before Call of Duty.
yeah,
Well, exactly, yeah.
uh,
You're not going to sponge off them, you're going to lose to them.
Yeah, but the thing with that is I can fully understand. I mean, it's the same with Dead Space and Dead Space 2 as well. They've done stuff with Dead Space 2 as far as I'm aware. I've not played it myself, so correct me if I'm wrong. But they've done stuff with that enhances on what they did in the first game, and tweaked the formula so it actually works.
Mm-hmm.
It works better. It's the same with Ubisoft and the Assassin's Creed games. They've got progressively better with each one they've done.
Mm.
So.
Do you know what really annoys me, though, about the people and like all the army and what have you and all the politics to do with Medal of Honor, right? This just really gets my goat. It's suffered so badly because it's been banned left, right and centre because it's all modern stuff, and army bases won't let people buy it, but yet you can buy it from elsewhere and bring it onto the base. So what if people aren't allowed to do that? Why have you not banned any Call of Duty game for being World War II? I don't give a shit if it's an old war or not.
It's 70 years ago, Anthony.
Yeah, I know, but
A lot of people weren't alive.
it's still technically bad taste because it's seeing World War II again, and people probably don't want to see
I wonder
that.
how they react to it in Germany.
Probably not. I don't know.
If we have any German listeners, give us a shout.
Yeah, do let us know, because I'd be interested to know. I mean, I'm not being controversial, bashing any sort of politics whatsoever, but it just...
But you are.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm trying not to anyway. I apologise if I do in advance. I wouldn't usually apologise for saying something like this, but I will now. It's just... It gets me when they'll ban something like that and it will suffer, and it's a bloody good... I don't care, like, all the rest of it might be alright, but the story mode, okay, it's short, is incredible. It's better than anything I've played on any Call of Duty game, by a long shot. And yet it gets banned and criticised for all this stuff just because it's modern. So why hasn't Russia reacted horribly? Okay, yeah, Modern Warfare got into a lot of trouble with its no Russian.
It's got into a lot more
Thingy.
trouble recently.
Yeah, there was
Is
a
it?
suicide attack at an airport in
Yeah.
Russia.
And they blamed Call of Duty. It's
Oh, there you go.
instantly in the headlines.
Yeah, but it's like they won't like Modern Warfare. Okay, we'll go to the first one that didn't have that much controversy about it. It was still, you were killing Russians. You were in modern day shooting Russians. How is that not bad? If they can get away with that, and they can get away with killing
Because
Germans,
it's not based on a real story.
and
It's not based on real events.
I
really.
don't care.
And
It's
that-
like-
that's the
It's still, the
justification.
thing is, it's still current,
Yeah.
and people are still being killed in Afghanistan to this day.
Whether
So-
or not you agree with it is a different matter. But
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I mean, they just, it just gets really annoys me. It's like they invade Russia in it, or they invade somewhere that looks an awful lot like Afghanistan in
Saying
Modern
that,
Warfare, and it doesn't get into trouble for going, that's Afghanistan.
Well, saying
They
that,
got
though,
away with it.
You've got games like World in Conflict on the PC, and I think maybe on the Xbox now as well. World in Conflict sees Russia invading the US.
Exactly. How have the Russians not gone? Well, we'd never do that. How?
No,
Actually, no, they
it's
probably
probably-
would.
Well,
if
they
had the
probably would,
chance.
yeah. But I mean, but
if they didn't suffer massively from huge debts.
yeah, but I mean, even so, I mean, it's just like how have games like that not got into as much trouble just because Modern Warfare is loosely based on modern events? I personally think it's a good idea to show it and go, here you are. Okay, yeah, you play as it, but what would it be different if someone made a film of it? Why have films like Black Hawk Down not been banned? They're based on real events. So why has Medal of Honor suffered just because it's a game?
It's a game.
This pisses
It's a
me
game.
off with the game and the film world. If they made this game into a film, it wouldn't get half as much trouble as it would as the game, because it's a film. You're not playing as it. I personally think it's a good idea. It shows people, and like, you get it first hand then. What on earth is your problem, politics?
Politics.
Politics and people in general, just, like I said, I don't mean to offend, but it's just
Silly.
pisses me off beyond all. And this is why a lot of games suffer these days as well.
Is this the Ant rant?
Yes, I feel a lot better for having said it now. But it just,
But you like the game.
I love the game. I love it. It's just a shame it suffered.
Well,
From-
you can tell it suffered as well, because I mean, shortly after Call of Duty came out, it was down to 18 quid in the sales.
Exactly.
I'll say this: at my workplace at HMV, when Call of Duty was out, we had an offer where you could buy it for £5 if you traded in Medal of Honor. And I don't have to say anything else. I don't think on that.
Do you know if a lot of people did? Yeah.
You will be amazed at the amount of.
I
Call of
would
Duty,
not be amazed, quite frankly.
Medal of Honor we got traded in.
Well, the thing is, if the campaign's that short and people aren't too bothered about the online mode, they probably whizzed through the campaign and thought, oh, COD Black Ops for £5. Yeah, alright, I'll finish this. Or they probably just thought, oh, Black Ops or Medal of Honor.
So I'd have gone with Medal of Honor.
Yeah, but
'Cause
yeah.
I think
On launch day, would you have picked it up for full price?
I don't know what it was full price.
What,
it
Black
would be-
Ops or Medal of Honor?
Medal of Honor, it would have been 40,
Probably.
45 quid.
Probably actually.
If you hadn't have already played it, because there was no demo released.
I was
of it.
Oh
tempted
no, I really did want it from the word go, because I've always enjoyed the Medal of Honor series since it was early days. But I was like, oh okay, I'll give it a go, see what it's like. I'm quite glad I did.
Well, you've got the special edition as well with front lines on it as well, haven't you?
Yes, which I need to give a go. Just
So
to
the
go.
limited edition, not the
Just to
special
go.
edition.
Woo!
No,
It's one of the two. It's either limited or
the tier 1 has
special.
the extra guns and stuff. So
That's the one.
Anything else you want to raise on the game, or shall we wrap it up?
It's ace by it. I mean, I know it's, like I said, it's suffered to Call of Duty, but that's technically EA's own fault for releasing it around
Around the same time.
the same time. It won't win over. It won't attract people. It'll just lose to it, unfortunately. And it's suffered from being bashed by people who don't like the idea of it. But
What are you going to do?
I won't get started on that again. It's
No.
just, I've raised my point about it, and I apologise if I've offended anyone. But there you go. That's the way it is.
Right, well, thank you for listening if you have been then. If you want to get in touch with us to have a go at Ant, or if you want to contact us, go to randomstoke.com, or you get the email address on there, or just go to info@randomstoke.com, send us an email to that address. We've also got a number of other projects all available at Random Stoked, including the video review of this game, and a number of other projects that, you know, podcasts and audio series and blah blah blah, all of that jazz. So check it out. So yeah, thank you for listening if you have been, and
If
we
you've
will.
managed to stay on this long.
If Ant ranting hasn't put you off, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.